I think this is where you and I might not agree. I don't see a reason to believe in objective morals.
Men that admitted God existed, they even signed the Declaration of Independence in the year of our Lord, referring to Jesus Christ. Look at the squirrel. Don't do it! Don't do it! All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very short video. We're going to be taking the Yamaha R6. This is my favorite motorcycle I've ever had. It's a street legal racing bike. So this is a great vehicle for the track, but it's also great for the street. So, as you know, we've been pointing out different errors that the Atheist Experience show makes, and I just saw another one. What would the Atheist Experience show do without me pointing out their errors and helping them to quit being irrational? Do you know that America was founded by 56 men that admitted God exists? There were 0 atheists, 0 Muslims in the bunch. Out of the 56 men that admitted God existed, they even signed the Declaration of Independence in the year of our Lord, referring to Jesus Christ. Look at the squirrel. Don't do it! Don't do it! 54 out of 56 were Christians. But let's make this a quick video. The Atheist Experience show messed up again. So I'm going to play a clip from the Atheist Experience show. Then you're going to hear a clip of me on the radio debating an atheist, where very humbly, as I bow my head down here, I destroyed the atheist in debate. And the topic was the same topic that the Atheist Experience show got wrong: objective moral values. So you're going to hear a clip of the Atheist Experience show claim that objective moral values do not exist. Now, that means, well, first let me explain to you what objective moral values are. And if someone denies that objective moral values exist, then that means murdering children, torturing children for fun. All this is just not wrong. It's not evil. So according to atheists, this is what they claim. So rape would not even be evil. It just is what it is on the retarded view of atheism. So let me explain what objective moral values are, because the atheists don't understand what objective moral values are, and they always get it wrong. Okay, here's what a good example of what objective moral values are. The atheist regimes of Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, the Khmer Rouge, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, I'm running out of fingers. The atheist regimes murdered children and did horrible things to women, and so when we say objective moral values, what we mean by that, let's take Stalin. Stalin was an atheist. He killed murdered in cold blood a lot of women, men, and children. So let's talk about when we say objective moral values. When Stalin the atheist murdered those children and the women and the men, objective moral values means that the action that he did was wrong, not just because you're the victim, but even if you were Stalin, the action's wrong. If atheist Stalin thinks Well, no, I have to do this to stay in power, because we know that atheists get a little murdery. The guy that murdered Charlie Kirk, was atheist, and he was a homosexual having sex with a guy, his roommate. So when we say objective moral values, we mean that when Charlie Kirk was murdered, and when that atheist murdered Charlie Kirk, and when the atheist Stalin murdered, that it's wrong, even if you were the homosexual, the atheist that murdered Charlie Kirk. The action's wrong, no matter what someone thinks about it or their opinion. Jeffrey Dahmer was an atheist when he murdered and ate people. Jeffrey Dahmer later repented of his atheism, and he became a Christian, and then he was murdered in prison. But Jeffrey Dahmer said it himself, and he was right. He said when he was an atheist, he believed in evolution, and there's no objective moral values, so if he takes someone's life, it might be good for him subjectively. Dahmer likes it, but it doesn't matter if the other person likes it, because, like the Atheist Experience show said, Jeffrey Dahmer said the same thing, that morals are subjective. So, how do you get through to an atheist and show them how wicked their atheism is? I mean, think about it. This means child abuse, torturing children for fun. There's nothing really evil about it, the atheist will say. So how do you get through to them? Well, the first thing you got to do is have compassion on our stupid atheist friends, because they're in a worldview where they do not believe that, they claim they do not believe that you have a conscience, or that God is saying that these things are wrong. So people say, well, how could we have objective moral values? It's the Euthyphro dilemma. Does God recognize that things are good, and so he calls them good, or does God make them good? Well, in this debate, you're going to hear a clip I had with the atheist. It's neither one of those. See, why is it wrong to lie? Because God cannot tell a lie. These attributes flow from God's nature. Why is it wrong to murder? Because God is about life, about salvation. Why is homosexuality, being a trans and all this, wrong? Because God is pure. So anyways, I'm in a debate, and you're going to hear me debating this atheist, and I got asked to debate on the radio, and the host of the radio show said, look, this atheist keeps calling in wanting to debate me, but I can't debate and at the same time do the show, so would you be willing to debate him? I don't even know who this atheist is, but I said, is he willing to debate on the topic, does God exist? And he said, I'll get back with you. So the atheist took the bait, and so basically I destroyed him, very humbly speaking. I destroyed this atheist in debate. I prepared for like 2 weeks. So when I got into debate, it was like I was killing an ant with a nuclear bomb. But you're going to hear the clip right now where I asked the atheist, this is what you do, you ask the atheist, and it's good if you're doing it in a debate, because they'll be a little more cautious of what they say. They're not going to say rape is subjective. Can you imagine? They're going to say, no, there's nothing evil about rape. So what? They're not willing to embarrass themselves and show how retarded they are, because the rational world, like you and I, realizes that objective values do exist, and it's always wrong to rape. It's always wrong to torture children for fun. So in debate, my goal is to do one or two things. Either embarrass the atheist, that's right, we want to show them that Psalm 14:1 is true, where it calls the atheists fools. And I'm going to embarrass the atheist in debate and make them admit that they claim that there's nothing wrong with rape. I mean, think about how wicked it would be if an atheist said this. So now, I'm in debate with this guy. The guy's name is Mickey. And you're going to hear the actual clip where I cross-examine him. There's a part of the debate where I could ask questions. And I said, is rape subjectively wrong or is it objectively wrong? And I knew what he was going to say because these atheists are idiots. He was going to take the bait like Wile E. Coyote, where he thinks he's going to get the Roadrunner, but he always sabotages himself. So he's going to take the debate and take the bait, I should say, in the debate. And of course, you're going to hear the atheist say, it's subjective. Well, if something is not evil all the time, then that means it's good some of the time, or all the time. So the atheist is really like defending rape. He's saying there's nothing objectively wrong with it. So I asked him, I said, okay, so it's subjective. Subjective means that if the rapist thinks it's good, rape is automatically good. If the rape victim thinks it's bad, then in her case, rape is bad. So that's not objective moral values. Remember the analogy of Charlie Kirk's atheist homosexual murderer. It was wrong even if the atheist homosexual thinks it's right. That's what objective moral values are. It doesn't matter what someone thinks about it or their opinion on it. It's wrong objectively, even if you were Stalin or Charlie Kirk's atheist murderer, atheist homosexual murderer. So I asked this guy, you're going to hear the clip first of the Atheist Experience show saying that morals are subjective, which means torturing children for fun is not always evil, according to the wicked Atheist Experience show. This is why they're a scam. The Atheist Experience show is totally a scam. They act like they're all good and ethical, but they're not. They're pawns of Satan. So, you're going to hear Justin say that objective there are no objective morals, that everything's subjective, which means that rape is not always evil. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, he says. So it's the action of rape is not always evil. This is wicked that the Atheist Experience show thinks is. So my atheist opponent in debate said the same thing. So here's what you ask your atheist opponent. Watch this, it's brilliant. Give me one instance, since you say rape is subjective, it's not always evil. Give me one instance, just one is all I'm asking for, where rape is okay. You got them! Either they're going to defend and come up with some sick reason why they, the retard atheist, thinks that rape is okay, or they're going to do what they should do and become normal and admit that rape is always wrong. So in the debate, I get the atheist to say rape is always wrong. Then this is objective moral values. So I definitely won that debate. He admits that objective, look, God is within, will not fall. God is within, will not fall. Okay, I like it. So, when you're talking to an atheist about objective moral values, go to rape and say, is rape always wrong or is it subjective? That means that it's good sometime. And they are going to, believe it or not, they're going to say they're going to show that their IQ is like 0. They're going to say that it's subjective, just like my atheist opponent did. Now, this is great when they say that, because everybody that's normal and has morals is going to be shocked that this nut job atheist is claiming that rape is not always wrong. So now I ask my opponent, give me one example of where rape is okay. And he goes, well, you're stupid. He wouldn't answer the question. I said, don't evade. You say it's subjective, which means sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's good. I agree with you, it's always wrong, but give me an example of where rape is okay. And he said, listen closely what he said, rape is never okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if rape is never okay, that's objective morals, then objectively he's admitting that objective morals exist. But if atheism were true, we would have no objective moral values. Why do atheists that are just, they say that they're just flesh blobs with no soul, no spirit, they're just materialist? Everyone at the Atheist Experience show is a materialist. In fact, Forrest is a nihilist. Nihilists believe that nothing really matters in the world. Forrest believes if someone gets raped, it doesn't really matter. If someone gets murdered like Charlie Kirk, look up nihilism. I'm saying exactly what the definition is. He's saying it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. So in debate, if you want to talk about objective moral values, I'm not interested in trying to get my opponent to admit there's objective moral values. I don't care about that. They're delusional, these atheists. I want them to either admit that, of course, there's objective moral values, but that's not my end-all reason why I asked this question, or I want them to give me an example, since they say rape is subjective. Give me an example where rape is okay. They won't do it. They don't have the guts to do it. I mean, think of how sick in the head an atheist has to be to claim that in some instances rape is okay. This is the sickness of atheism. And this is why, do you know, if you get all the groups, Christians, Jews, Muslims even, who like to explode things, atheists are even less trusted than Muslims. Christians are the most trusted group. Atheists are the least trusted group. Well, of course, if atheists are saying rape is subjective, these atheists are sick in the head. So what we do is we point out how sick in the head they are. Truly, Psalm 14 is correct, that atheists are fools.
My contention is with us atheists, because we let the narrative be driven by theists. So, and I'd like to push that.
Oh, Justin's just told me he doesn't do that. I don't do that. You seem to be contending it, so I don't think you do that. So who are these atheists?
Okay. In debates, for example, we accept the definition of subjective by theists, and we accept that either all moralities are subjective, right? And we don't recognize there are some moralities that are objective, but they are covered by this fluff of the conversation.
Well, I think this is where you and I might not agree. I don't see a reason to believe in objective morals. Well, I think this is where you and I might not agree. I don't see a reason to believe in objective morals. Well, I think this is where you and I might not agree. I don't see a reason to believe in objective morals.
Should I go?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let me try to tie in some loose points of this debate, and also it's interesting that I thought he was an atheist. He's actually an agnostic. He agrees that God can exist, and he did admit that he's a sinner. He admits that he accepted Christ at one time in his life.
There's no such thing.
You admitted that you're a Christian, right? You admitted that you were a Christian at one time in your life, right?
As a boy, yeah.
Right. So you admitted you were a sinner?
As a boy.
Okay, so he admitted it.
Because I was in.
All right, hold on, Mickey. Hold on. Let me do my part. I didn't interrupt you, so I want to.
Go ahead.
You notice he did not. I didn't bring up the ontological argument, so you made a mistake there, Mickey. I didn't bring that up, but you mentioned that I brought it up. I didn't bring it. I brought up the cosmological argument. He didn't even touch that, folks. I brought up the teleological argument.
Because
he didn't even touch that. Hold on, Mickey. I'm almost. This is my closing
There's nothing
argument.
there.
I brought up the objective values. On objective values, he says there is no objective morality. So on his worldview, rape is not wrong. See, Mickey, what I can give you is an objective moral foundation in Christianity. On Jesus Christ, he was not able to debunk the three arguments that I gave. On experiential reality, Mickey, hold on. I didn't interrupt you. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
On experiential reality, I mean, it might be objectively wrong for you to interrupt me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, Mickey. So the 5 arguments that I gave, he has not even touched any of them. In fact, I'm going to put the I'm going to put Mickey. Hold on. I'm going to put the cosmological argument on my side of the debate. He said he has no problem with God existing. You heard him say it. Number 2, the teleological argument, the fine-tuning, he didn't even address that. He says he has no problem with the possibility of God existing. Objective values, he did touch on that. Mickey, listen, it is madness. Atheism is madness. You've got to get out of it, man, before it rots your brain.
Because
the last thing I'll say is this.
Okay.
He wasn't able to debunk anything we said about Jesus Christ or experiential reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the debate. I think it is obviously clear that atheism, or should we say faiththeism, is madness, and that Christian theism is the more plausible position. Okay, Mick.
At one time, people did rape, and it was not considered bad.
There's still
At one time, well, yes, but it's a moral, it's a crime all over the world.
Is it objectively wrong, or is it okay in some instances?
No, it's subjectively wrong.
So what instance is rape okay?
Rape in our society is never.
Gotcha.
No, you didn't get me. Because
what
it's not
instance
objective.
is rape okay?
It's
Go
subjective.
ahead.
It's subjective.
What instance is rape okay? Don't evade.
It's never okay. But it is
ladies and gentlemen, it's never okay. Well, let's put objective morality on my side. Okay, Mickey, you're just digging yourself a bigger hole, my friend. God bless you, Mickey. I think you're thinking rational now.
You are showing your ignorance. You are showing your ignorance.
You admitted it's never okay. We play back the audio.
For Christianity, there's no argument there.
Well, I gave you my arguments, and you didn't debunk any of them.
No, because there's no argument there.
Here's what you said.
Because
you said there's no objective morality.
It would be like if I was telling you the story of Moby Dick and proving it that it is true by reading Moby Dick.
See, this is the problem with you, Mickey. Is you need to you're comparing the cosmological, teleological, objective values, Jesus Christ, experiential reality, to a story of Moby Dick. Do you think that's rational?
No, don't use the cosmological and teleological arguments to prove anything.
You don't like
about
those arguments?
Christ. No, but it has nothing to do with Christianity.
Oh, it has everything to do with it.
It's got nothing to do with Christianity.
Look at the very first page of Genesis. In the beginning, God created.
But that is...
And you even admit that God... Well, let me ask you this. Do you agree with me that the claim that it's possible for God to exist contradicts the claim that it's impossible for God to exist?
No, I do not believe. I believe... Now...
You don't agree that those contradict?
I could be a deist. I have no problem with being a deist.
No. The question was, do you agree that the claim it's possible for God to exist contradicts the claim it's impossible for God to exist? It clearly contradicts, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, then this is why atheism is null and void. Imagine this, Mickey. Okay, I'll ask you a question. You could ask me one. You got 666 atheists in a house. 333 of them say it's possible for God to exist. The other 333 say it's impossible.
But then
Mickey,
they're not atheists.
Which group of atheists is right, or do you not?
But they're not atheists then. They're agnostic. They're not
no,
atheists.
They're all atheists. Are you saying there's no atheists that say it's possible for God to exist?
Okay. All right.
Of course there are.
Now, look, do you believe in Zeus? Do you believe that
Why should I? Give me some arguments for Zeus.
Well, right. So you are, when it comes to
That's why I don't believe
theology,
in atheism. Atheism is just like Zeus. It's
right.
atheism.
So you are an atheist as well as I
No,
am.
that's
You
the
are as
wrong.
much of an
Atheism
atheist
is the
as I would be.
denial of any God's existence. So you can't call
Right.
a Christian an atheist. That's just a misunderstanding of the
No.
term. Well, you agree.
You can have it where
so
you-
let me ask you this, Mickey. There's
Okay.
666 atheists in the house, and half of them say
Oh,
it's possible for
please.
God to exist. Clearly, I know atheists that say it's possible for God to exist. And the other half say it's impossible. In your opinion, I really want to know your opinion on this.
Okay.
Which group is right? The group saying it's possible for God to exist, or the group saying it's impossible? In your opinion, do you know which group is right?
Well, as an agnostic, I would say possible.
Right. So the ones saying that it's impossible for God to exist, you believe are wrong.